For the money that girl makes, she got too much time. What's up, everyone? It's your favorite blind chick back on your screen with another one. You're tuned into another What in the World, where we go through what's been going on this week in the world, starting off with some pop culture, moving on to tech talk, world news, and wrapping up with what's going on in my home country too. So let's get into it. First story on the chopping block is, I never thought I would see this happen, but Bill Cosby got vacated. I didn't even know vacated was a thing until 2 days ago, but hey, here we go. So apparently, because of the way that they processed the case years ago, he had a sweetheart deal. So how do they put him in if they weren't supposed to? I'm all types of perplexed. So if you're into the legal system in the States, please clarify this for me. What I know at the time of filming this is that this is all types of wrong. I'm not going to get into whether the women are lying or not, because that's a discussion for another day. And personally, just to share my piece, it's not my place to say whether or not someone has gone through something as traumatic as that. This is going to be a precedent for all the other dudes that did the same thing. If they had a sweetheart deal, they're going to find a loophole, and then we're going to... Let me not go down the rabbit hole here, because the way I see it, I'm not a huge conspiracy theorist, but I do believe that there's a lot more going on than what meets the eye, especially when it comes to people who are worth millions, like this guy. Wait, while we're on this topic, where's Woody Allen? What about that Steven guy, the dad from Seventh Heaven? He was messy too. All these men are just... Britney finally said her piece this week, and she shared some disturbing details about her conservatorship. Pretty much her parent, predominantly her father, who's her manager and the overseer, has had her under not just financial stipulations like a $2,000 stipend a week, which sounds like a lot to me, but I need to remember she's not a regular person. They say she's worth $60 million, which sounds like a lot, but not at the same time for Britney. Come on, it's Britney, B. But everything about this story screams sketchy. The family, all these people that are in cahoots, the legal system that's making money off of it. She's paying for his lawyer. That's technically just the fact that they even have full range to say whether or not she can have another child or get married is insane to me. They were giving her drugs, apparently, that were making her ill. They weren't solving her illness that apparently she never had. They would just prescribe her things when she wasn't obedient and not participating in their plan to make more money off of, say, her Vegas shows or whatever they wanted to do next. And they would dangle her children over her head, like, you won't get to see them if you don't do what we ask. Greed is a hell of a drug. That's all I gotta say. The BET Awards, I didn't watch it in its entirety. I watched the intro. I love me some Taraji P. Henson. She is fine wine. She gets better with time. And then I saw a couple of the performances. Nothing that really stood out. What stood out for me was the audience. I can't remember the last time that I saw a live audience on one of these award shows. That just shows you how warped our time has been lately. It's twisted to think that these are the small things that we took for granted before. Being able to watch a award show and see the reaction response from the audience, it's not the same now, but it's showing that we're going into a more forward direction. There is no back to normal to go to. I think that's a thing of the past. When Cardi B came out pregnant, how is she doing the most? Meanwhile, the Migos, just this way, that way, this way. When they were dancing, men. You have a pregnant woman. She looks like she's going to pop tomorrow, busting it wide, busting it down. Meanwhile, this way, that way. Amigos, though, if they busted out in full dance like NSYNC or Backstreet would back in the day, I'd kind of look at them sideways. Like, that's not really the swag we're looking for, so I can't be mad. But it's just funny to see the difference of energy on the same stage. He versus Kim. Kim was asked on the red carpet who she would versus against, and she said Nicki. I was so shocked that Kim would say that. I figured she would have said Foxy, since that's the same generation. But it actually makes more sense, because Nicki is for our time that Kim was for that time. And if we're completely real, I love me some Nicki, but Kim is the GOAT. She's the blueprint for what all these girls are doing in the street. That could be the potential for some reconciliation. I mean, I love me a good rap beef, throwing blows. On the last pop culture story would be Miss Jessie Woo. She is a YouTuber who is also on Love and Hip Hop New York, I think. And this week she got in a little trouble with Cardi because she said that it was Cardi's manager that let her know that they made Cardi the arch nemesis. Basically, they were saying that Cardi was supposed to replace Nicki. It's just like what I said with Kim. There's only one Kim, there's only one Nicki, there's only one Cardi, there's only one Meg, sweetie too. Cardi wasn't having it because when is she ever? I swear, for the money that girl makes, she got too much time. But at this time, for the first time, I can't even be mad for her respecting her honor. Let's talk a little tech news because you know this is my favorite part of the segment. There's a couple new advances with Instagram. The most important being that they're going to have an OnlyFans-esque type of situation. You know what I said a couple weeks back? Whenever these tech companies or apps start to copy and imitate, unlike with the rap world, I appreciate it because the more that they try to steal and snipe each other's features, the more likely they're going to be innovative or fix something in a small way. Sometimes it's the things like looking at Snapchat versus just putting that on the stories on Instagram. I love the way that Instagram has been able to revolutionize the idea of a 24-hour story or snap. Something like that would be really good for OnlyFans, which is trying to be less OnlyFans-ish. And the same thing goes for this IG version of it. So what they're going to do is allow creators to promote and charge to their consumers directly. You know, I'm always down for P2P because that's way better than having the middle person. I'm sure Instagram is going to take a cut because they're all about their coins. But at the same time, that's better than just AdSense revenue, right? And then I was thinking on the other hand, because I heard Twitter has it already, but theirs is not so PG. I think Instagram doing this is going to make this more tolerable for something like OnlyFans to be able to phase into what they're trying to do. Because they're trying to move away from the fill in the blank trade. There is a startup company that just received 250 million. Startup companies be making big money out there. That ain't no chump change to fund their drone delivery service. So I think that's a huge step. We're going to see DoorDash be delivering via the drone very, very soon. It's so crazy to think that 10 years ago, there wasn't even Uber Eats. And like I've told you guys in other videos, on my floor, I can hear very well, so I can hear people ordering on the daily. Pinterest is no longer allowing weight loss ads. I didn't even know they had that in the first place. I guess because Pinterest is an algorithm and I'm never looking for that stuff anyway. I'm trying to gain over here. That's why I be working out every day. I'm torn on this. On one side, there's a delicate demographic that, of course, I don't want to be under the influence of advertisements that will further perpetuate their illness or whatever they're battling with. On the other hand, things like this give me the whole Instagram remove the likes, now put them back type of vibes. Like, what is the point of this? I want to know how much the company is just trying to care and how much they're trying to collect coins by doing the right thing. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are on something like this. China is in the news as they celebrate 100 years of their communist party. Why does it feel like a lot more than 100 years? Anyway, Xi Jinping said, in my words, not his, because shots were fired towards possibly the States and any other country, that anyone who wants to interfere with China, he gonna come for. I was just like, you really able to say that and record it? Wow. That's crazy. The Trump organization is being investigated because they found out there's a lot of situations with tax evasion. Oh, so shocked. Not at all. I'm surprised that they haven't discovered more. I think they're intentionally keeping this from us, but see, this is just the tin hat tingling, as T likes to say. The people who make the rules and the regulations always find a way to break them, bend them, or just neglect the fact that they don't follow them themselves. Ethiopia, which is probably the heaviest story of today. So they're going to do a ceasefire, if I'm not mistaken, or that might have been Afghanistan, because I know they're promising to take out the NATO forces out of Afghanistan. They started to, but everyone's going to be out by September. But there's a massacre that's happened in Ethiopia. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. I had no idea. It's so horrible. The details I don't even want to repeat because they're very disturbing. What I found very horrific is that they disfigured the bodies, and I'm not going to get into detail about what they did, but if you go on CNN, for example, they show you the videos. I was not looking in that direction. I didn't want. It's just horrible to know that there's places on the planet where people are being murdered, and then the family is being kept away from these mass graves, and when they're released to go collect their families to have a respectful burial, I can't even get into it. It's just, from there, hometown news, Toronto, stage 2. So we started stage 2 on Thursday. And it's been so nice to see the city alive again. I got my pedicure today, so no more gargoyle feet. There is weird percentages, so it's like 15% are allowed indoor, like in the malls and the shopping. The restaurants are not open indoors yet. I think that's stage 3. The last story has to do with a city northeast of Vancouver. That is, I forgot what it's called, but it's a small rural town. And they've experienced a heat dome, so much to the point where they've been evacuated. Had recorded temperatures the other day of 48 to 49.5 degrees Celsius. I love me some heat, but that is crazy. They're also predicting that this is going to be one of the worst years for wildfires in BC. So they've already had a few, and I think this is wildfire season anyway, but they're projecting that there's going to be more than ever before because of the temperatures that it'll be recording, and it's a recipe for disaster. So I don't know, for those who don't believe in global warming, climate change, this is a wake-up call for everybody. On that note, I'm going to wrap up this episode. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, you know what to do. Tap that like, subscribe, and share too. And until next time, stay safe, stay sane, stay blessed. Love and later.